Tell me the story about the F-450.
I'm very afraid. I'm honestly freaked out for him.
Why did we get a $120,000 truck?
I mean, you think it's a bad idea if I take on more debt?
I would.
Yeah.
Do you need to have a confessional right now, bro?
Yeah. The business right now is not doing good. I know I have a lot of nice shit, but I really don't have a lot of money in my bank account.
You know, I was addicted to hardcore drugs.
Check this out. Thinking about buying this.
This is just as bad as drugs.
See, this is the F-450 everyone's ragging me on.
$300,000 of debt, $2,000 in the bank. It's insanity.
I look at the company, I'm like, we got to do some, serious surgery.
You know, I know some of you guys may disagree with me.
I literally don't want you to buy it.
I'm going to fill out the finance information, get 0% interest.
We can't do that anymore. The debt will eventually catch up.
No cash. Business dies.
You know, I could be crippled up. I'm still going to be successful.
60% of businesses will fail in their first 3 years. I'm Mike Andes, and I'm on a mission to fix this. I know the fear, and I felt their pain. For the next 30 days, these owners will be sweating it out while trying to avoid becoming another statistic on this season of Business Bootcamp.
Aaron is the owner of a business that has grown massively over the past 12 months, and now he has multiple crews, gonna do $800,000-900,000 in annual revenue. However, with that size of business, he literally has less than $2,000 in the bank account, and I am extremely concerned by the fact that he has hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt and equipment and trucks, and this is a very scary situation.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Aaron with Arizona Yard Maintenance. You know, we're talking about struggles. One thing that I know is taking away from my profits every day is going to stores like this, Circle K, Quick Trip every morning. I'm at the hospital right now. My 6-year-old stepdaughter has brain cancer, so.
Oh no.
I have a daily ritual of going to Starbucks. When I first started out, I went to McDonald's daily, and then when I made more money, I upgraded to Starbucks. I just got my coffee. You can hear my voice is kind of chipper. That's what coffee does. When I first started my business, I was making very little money. I was in a very bad spot mentally. I was rough. About 5 years ago. This was before my daughter was born. I'm gonna kind of open up. You know, I was addicted to hardcore drugs, methamphetamine, pain pills. I could not get out of it, tried to get out of it. It was miserable. I still had my mind partially. I was still smart, but that truly is a disease. Ultimately, I found some help. I knew I had a daughter on the way. I knew I wasn't a dirtbag. I'm here with my daughter right now. This is Lily. Lily, how old are you?
5.
She's 5 years old.
These are my two daughters, Athena and Lily. They are wearing their custom shirts. Here's a picture of me, my mascot. Had an artist create this for me. Here's Lily. Here's her custom shirt. Say smile, Lily. My daughter was something powerful to give me the strength to quit. One thing I did is I went to McDonald's every day. I got oatmeal, coffee, and I would drive around and have self-affirmation talks with myself. I would, look in the mirror, tell myself I could do it. I'm powerful. I'm not going to be taken down. Whatever I had to tell myself, I was going to overcome it. I had to for this innocent child, and now I have all this responsibility, family. I have 8 to 10 other guys that rely on me. I have a purpose now.
When I look at a company that is struggling, it's like, okay, first and foremost, we need to stay alive. Then we can focus on, thriving and growing profits, etc. Like in the short term, when you only have $2,000 in cash, but there's, almost $300,000 in liabilities, that's very scary. And I know what it's like to be there. And so I made sure I don't want you to think I'm talking down to you in this call at all, because I remember what it's like to be there, and it's horrible. And especially with that compounded with the fact that your daughter's going through everything, I can only imagine the stress and everything.
I know that a lot of my money has been going towards personal expenses, like lawyer fees. I had a surgery done, that was $10,000. So, I've spent a lot of the business's money on personal stuff. Probably have around $100,000 saved up if I didn't spend it on personal stuff.
when I'm thinking about very short term, I immediately am looking at the balance sheet. That's where we can cut fastest. The debt, right? So, for example, we owe $122,000 on the F450 2022. What's the payment on that per month?
Just over $1,700.
And then we got like the boom lift. There's $36,000 on that. So, do you know what the payment is on that per month?
Just under $800.
The RAV4, I'm assuming, is that used for the business or is that personal?
Mostly personal.
The two things I'm looking at the most right now is the RAV4 and the truck. So on the wood chipper, there's a $73,000 loan. What's that per month right now? Do you know?
$1,500.
So right now we're sitting at around probably $5,000 a month in payments. Is that about right? 5 to 6,000?
Yeah.
Tell me the story about the F450. Why did we get a $120,000 truck? I'm just asking.
I know you know Tigran.
Oh, yeah.
Gert. I joined Goat Gang last year in December.
I invited everyone from Goat Gang 66 of the greatest of all time are here to compete for this thing. Who's gonna take it home, boys?
Went to the competitions, got close to winning some of them before that. I won the excavator competition. I picked up an A, without breaking it the fastest.
Let's see what you got, Hotshot. 109. 104.
I'm excited.
Good job.
Tigran and I worked out a deal because he still needed the excavator. I ended up getting $54,000.
To the winner, congratulations, Aaron from Arizona. Here are the keys, brother.
Thank you.
$75,000 excavator. Congratulations.
Thanks, brother.
Take this thing home all the way to Arizona. Let's go.
I'm taking it home right now. That same weekend, there was another competition, and I got second place for a 2021 F450. Almost won that truck. They're nice trucks, but I had all this, I had $54,000. I had that extra money. I considered it free money, and I just decided to put, $30,000 down and get that truck.
I really hope I can get to him just how important it is to get rid of some of this debt, release some of these payments, $5,000, $6,000 a month. That's literally 15%, 16% of his revenue right now. That is all of his profit being wiped out because of loan payments.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Aaron with Arizona Yard Maintenance. My business is yard maintenance. It kind of gets me in the door without having to solicit for trees. I like to do trees. Today, we are removing 22 trees that blew down in a community. This is some of my setup. So I got a Vermeer stand behind skid steer. I have a boom lift, a Genie boom lift. Here's my truck.
I don't think he quite sees the gravity of the cash crunch and the balance sheet.
My 2022 F450.
When you're paying $1,700 a month on a truck that is worth $140,000 on his balance sheet.
By winning that, I sold the excavator, was able to put a down payment and get that truck. It's very useful. It's a beautiful truck.
And there's that much debt?
It's nice. I recommend it.
I'm very afraid. I'm honestly freaked out for him.
If anyone needs a truck, get a F450.
And this is why I'm very afraid of any influencer that tells people to buy a bunch of equipment, go into massive amounts of debt.
The next giveaway is going to be this 2017 F550 diesel.
Because influencers have cash flow from their masterminds, from their videos, and from their social media. If you don't have that, you can't afford $1,700 a month for a brand new truck. The equivalent truck that is 10 years old could absolutely do the job. Maybe it only lasts a few years, but you'd get to the promised land of growth to where it'd actually be profitable instead of dying on the way to the journey thereof.
But furthermore, with the rest of my equipment that's on this job today, here's a dump trailer, and then I set up the dump trailer with the hitch with my wood chipper. That way I can pull my dump trailer chipper around this entire community. I can take it on the freeway. It's not legal. I've done it several times. Very cautious when I do that, but when I don't have another driver, another truck available, I double pull. I feel like my biggest expense, what's killing me, is labor.
That's why I look at the balance sheet first. But you're 100% right. And like once we get away from that acute problem that I do see there, then it becomes a matter of the efficiency of the labor. And I think P4P is the right call. Like, what software do you use right now for your projects?
I mean, to keep track of my scheduling?
Yeah, scheduling, for example. Yeah.
I just use the reminders app on my iPhone.
Okay.
So I was
go ahead.
1% software. but it kind of went. It's a dud right now.
Are you open to implementing software though? Because like, are you gonna wait for that 1% software?
I don't have any really trust in it right now.
I would highly recommend not. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I'd recommend getting started with some software though. Like your size of business, the fact that you're running on your reminders app must mean you're a reminders app genius, because I don't have a clue how you do that. I'm really still concerned, honestly, Aaron, about the acute part of the cash crunch. And, do we need these assets as much as, $1,700 a month? Like, with your insurance on top of that, I imagine your insurance on that's like $500-600 a month.
No, it's more than that. I'm paying around like $1,200 a month in insurance.
Mercy.
So
like that truck's costing you $3,000 a month.
Well, no, I mean, that's for everything though. And I have all my tools. That's for the,
got it, for the whole liability. Gotcha. Yeah. That includes the truck though, like auto insurance?
All my vehicles, everything. So
got it.
I mean, I've made around $20,000 in the last couple of days, 2.5 days. I'm waiting on those funds, so that's why I got all this equipment, is because I know I can just easily make money when I have this equipment.
My concern though is like, are we going to run out of fuel? Right. And that is this cash, right? That is like my number one concern, because it's like a 2 to 3 day burn that we're on. And as long as you can grow, like, I think you're right. You have the capacity with the trucks and equipment that you have to make probably 120, 130 a month. And that's where you'll be profitable. My question is, can we get there without, running out of steam? Feel free to look at Jobber. If you want to start with that, I'll get you access to P4P, but it won't make a lot of sense until we actually look at it together. And then we'll run some of the numbers next week together. And again, thoughts and prayers for your daughter. We'll keep her in mind.
All right. Thanks, man.
I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty concerned about Aaron and his business after that call. This is a lot of stress to have on somebody. And then last month, with having the bank lock up his accounts for a couple of weeks, and now with his daughter being in the hospital and having cancer, like, it's extremely stressful. But I'm afraid that he's caught in the vision of growth, so much to the point where on his way to growth, he runs out of cash. There's no cash, and the business dies. But I truly believe Aaron has the ability to sell.
Dazzle them with your brilliance or baffle them with your bullshit, son.
I would like, yourself to be able to understand the picture before I take your advice.
Or maybe you just want to get their attention. It's my train horn.
Let me just say that none of this is staged or fake. Business Bootcamp is real. These are real business owners going through real things. We do not stage things. This takes a lot of time and effort on the part of our media team, and I'd really appreciate it if you just did 2 things for me. Number 1, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. It tells YouTube that this type of content needs to go to other business owners. Second thing, if you could share this video in like a Facebook group or with other industry experts, or you have a WhatsApp group with other people in your industry, please share it. It really helps us. We spend a lot of time and money and energy, and if we're gonna keep doing this, we gotta see some good results. So please share the content and subscribe. It helps us out tremendously. Last week on Business Bootcamp, we checked in with Aaron Espinoza from Arizona Yard Maintenance. When you only have $2,000 in cash, but there's almost $300,000 in liabilities, that's very scary. His business had hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. That is all of his profit being wiped out because of loan payments. Massive equipment that was not being used frequently.
So that's why I got all this equipment, is because I know I can just easily make money when I have this equipment.
And he was running his entire business doing over $500,000 in annual revenue off of the Reminders app of his cell phone.
I just use the Reminders app on my iPhone.
Okay. We told him he had to get onto some sort of software and start organizing the business if he wanted to take it to the next level. You're one big job that doesn't pay on time away from like a really very stressful moment. Let's catch up with Aaron and see how he's been doing.
Just woke up from a nice little nap, about to do a job estimate / sale. My father, he once told me, dazzle them with your brilliance or baffle them with your bullshit, son. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go make the sale, make it happen, dazzle them with my brilliance. Gotta be charismatic, charmful, happy, smile. Yes, we wanna do it. We're gonna make it happen, and we can get it done. I have a couple job estimates today. The meeting with Mike, my 6-year-old stepdaughter, she has surgery today. She's gonna start chemotherapy today for her brain cancer. So hopefully that goes well. I'll pray that goes well. All of my guys, they have it off except for my foreman. I had him go back to wrap up a job. They didn't get back until like 7 o'clock last night.
I had to go back to a property which job was not done. Had to go remove some more weeds, build the whole property, remove a few more limbs, and then do a walkthrough with the customer to make sure he's satisfied.
They did some stuff that they weren't really supposed to do, so ended up causing a delay. There's a little bit of work that needs to be done today. So we have a meeting today with Mike. We're gonna go over, I think, Jobber, some of the challenges I've been facing. This is the Reminders app. I got it on my iPhone. The downfall in doing it this way is it kind of works off the honor system and it works off of my brain. You know, right now, one of my struggles is I'm getting all these accounts, and if some of these people don't pay, I just may overlook it. I noticed, you know, one account, I'm like, man, I don't think I received a payment from this lady, and it was 3 months. You know, essentially we provided service for her for 3 months without getting paid.
My concern is that the business can't grow much more with that being the bottleneck for everything. And I'm actually really interested to see, even next week when you're gone, how things continue to operate when your manager takes over, not having the Reminders app, or potentially there is. So maybe educate me a little bit.
Yeah, with that, I think it's just the initial fears of change.
I don't want to make things more stressful on myself and end up causing a bunch of havoc in my business and make things worse.
I would like, you know, yourself to be able to understand the picture before I take your advice.
I am a little leery of implementing something before, you know, someone actually understands. Be smart about it. You know, this is my livelihood. I got a family to support.
So with that being said, I looked into Jobber, but I was hesitant, you know, and I know that you're smart, you know what you're doing. I mean, you've really delved into this business, you know, more than I have.
I think it may be difficult to completely understand everything, but I know that we all mean well.
It'll definitely be a transition. It'll be very, very difficult because right now the Reminders app is so simple and you understand it like the back of your hand. Here's where my concern is and why I push the Jobber side. Because in my mind, there's two directions you take the business. One, you scale it up and use all this equipment to its full capacity. So it's not sitting in the yard for 4 days out of the week. It's actually being used all the time. And that is, you got to grow that business to 150,000+ per month in revenue. And I think you have the capabilities as you are in terms of your confidence.
I might be broke, but I look like $1 million.
If you're going to do that route, that's where I see you have to have a software, because you're going to need someone else to start handling a lot of the stuff that you're doing currently, like scheduling, dispatching, invoicing. You're not going to be able to handle it all at 150,000 plus a month in revenue. And that's the size of business I feel you're going to need to grow to make it worthwhile to have all this debt and this large equipment. Route 2 is you stay on the very simplified route, but you get rid of all the debt structure and you focus on simple services and then just raise your prices. And I think that's the route you don't want to go, because you're confident in selling the larger projects, and there's definitely money to be had there.
At Augusta Lawn Care, we mostly focus on the simple services and running a much more lean model. But if you're gonna go big or go home, you better make sure that you really go all in and get more projects. You can't have a tree chipper sitting around for 4 or 5 days a week. You can't have trucks that are worth $120,000 not pulling massive loads every single day on big projects.
Because you've bought the equipment to basically triple the business. And that's why you're hitting this cash crunch, because you've invested so much for the upfront of what you're going to grow the business into. Right.
Yeah.
And that's fine. You've obviously bought into the vision and you know where you can take it. We've got to get there pretty quickly though. And in my mind, you're going to have to eventually hand things off that are not sales related to somebody else. The team showed me this message from Aaron that he had posted on one of my YouTube videos. This is the time to get scrappy and start paying some of this debt down so we can actually put some profit on the table.
I don't know. They must be a lot stronger than I was when I was 6 years old.
You need to grind out more that way so we can put the concrete back. I know it's loud, guys. What I'm trying to tell them is that we need to grind out the root further on that other side. That way we can put this concrete edging back. We need to make it perfect. So right here still seems a little high. Necesito perfecto. Aquí menos labajo or más labajo. Someday I may run for president. Have you guys ever ran into the situation where one of your employees is about to get hit by a car, if they're having their backpack blower, or maybe you just want to get their attention? Well, I came up with a solution for that. It's my train horn. It gets their attention
Right now, I'm probably gonna get a few guys asking me what's going on. They're all gonna come to me, say, "What do you need, Aaron? What do you need?" That's if they're trained properly. No one's coming. It actually works really good. A lot of times the regular horn just doesn't work when you want to get their attention. Sure enough, yep, they're coming. All right, I got to get to work. This is Jose, my friend. He's back to work. He hasn't been working for about 2 months. He actually had a seizure on the job. Ended up having to pry his mouth open so he could breathe. Really worried about him, but he's finally got cleared by a doctor. So I'm really happy to have Jose back. He's been working with me the longest out of all my employees, about 1.5 years. Didn't allow him to go back to work just because I cared about him. I wanted him to be healthy, get himself well. So today's his first day and excited to see him back here. ¿Tú quieres hablar? Say hola. Hola. On my way to a service repair shop. It's called MoPower here in Mesa, Arizona. One of my guys, I don't know who it is, but they tightened up the telescoping chainsaw too tight, stripped out the stud inside of the actual gearbox. Things like this, inefficiencies throughout the day, they end up eating the profits. I've explained to the guys how tight these studs need to be, but it seems like some of them just don't get it. I say about the strength of a 6-year-old boy. Imagine a 6-year-old boy tightening it down as tight as he possibly can. You don't want to tighten that baby down as tight as you possibly can, a grown man. I don't know, they must be a lot stronger than I was when I was 6 years old. Shit happens, you just gotta roll with it. You know, that way you can continue to make money. That's the goal.
I just arrived here this morning at Command Center for Augusta Lawn Care, our office, and the team showed me this message, these comments from Aaron that he had posted on one of my YouTube videos about expensive trucks, going into debt, loans, etc. And although I agree that it's nice to have a nice truck when you are out doing estimates, you're in the truck a lot throughout the day. I agree with that. I understand that. But you don't need a $140,000, $150,000 truck. It doesn't need to be an F450 if you're trying to get a nice interior. If you're pulling stuff around all day long, then I would assume that more than 20 to 30% of your revenue is coming from big projects. Right now, 70 to 80% of his revenue is coming from lawn mowing. You don't need the massive truck for that. So I struggle to think that you couldn't get a $50,000 or $60,000 truck and put the other $90,000 of debt behind you by getting a 3 or 4 year old truck that is just as nice inside and can still pull that much weight. And it's different if you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in your bank account. When you have $2,000 to $3,000 in your bank account and you're struggling to make payments, it's a different mindset that needs to come into play. If you put in your 5-10 years of growing the business, it's producing good cash flow and good profit, then you can go run a victory lap. Then you can go get a really nice truck or a fancy car or something like that. But this is not the time. This is the time to get scrappy and start paying some of this debt down so we can actually put some profit on the table.
So I just so happen to be across the street right now from a house that we provided service for I think it was 3 months. And the lady called me out. She saw good recommendations on the Nextdoor app. She ended up telling me during that consultation though that her previous landscaper died, and it kind of threw up a red flag. Said sorry to hear that. That wasn't the first time that I've heard that though, and that's why it kind of threw up a red flag for me. I think what happened is that this guy probably didn't die from COVID, that she was just a pain in the ass to work for. Very nitpicky, tried to throw in stuff for free at the end. My thinking was either these guys really did die, or it was a good excuse to basically get away from this lady. I ended up having to tell the lady, I'm sorry, this, all this extra stuff is not included. I stood my ground. I'm not in this business to work for free.
Hey boot campers, it's Mike Andes, and if you own a lawn care or landscaping business, I'd like to invite you to Landscape Summit 2023 happening in January of this coming year. It's the event of the year for anyone that's in the green industry, and you're gonna be hearing from speakers that have all ran lawn care and landscaping businesses that are 7, 8, and even 9-figure companies. It's gonna be an incredible event that you wanna bring your spouse, your managers, and your employees and team to get the year started off on the right foot. Book it today, go to mikeandys.com/summit. Last week on Business Bootcamp, we caught up with Aaron from Arizona Yard Maintenance.
I would like, yourself to be able to understand the picture before I take your advice.
He was literally $300,000 in debt with only $2,000 in the bank account.
I might be broke, but I look like $1 million.
And running his entire business off of his reminders app of his iPhone.
The downfall in doing it this way is it kind of works off the honor system and it works off of my brain.
We talked about how we needed to get onto a CRM software system to be able to take the business to the next level.
With that being said, I looked into Jobber.
However, I don't think he's learned his lesson, and I caught up with him in person on this week's episode.
Yeah.
You need to have a confessional right now, bro?
Yeah.
And he's actually considering getting more debt.
No!
I have 9 guys working for me today, 2 different crews. What I'm doing today is basically hanging out with my daughter, getting prepared for a trip. I'm going to Kentucky, Louisville. I think that's how you pronounce it, for a equipment expo. I'm gonna fly out there tonight. Today I am a chaperone for my daughter's first field trip. If I didn't build things up in my business, I wouldn't be able to afford to do this. I wouldn't have the time. I'd be out there grinding like a lot of you guys, just trying to survive, I guess I'm trying to survive too, but what's nice is that I built up a business where I can rely on, other guys to run it for me. All I have to do is, about 45 minutes of paperwork at night, the night before, set out the schedule, gets done, I get paid. Flying into Louisville right now. I am in Louisville, Kentucky right now. We're staying at the house. I'm staying with Tigran Gertz, part of Goat Gang. We got a pool. I'm gonna try to talk Tigran into jumping in it. He's always talking about being primal and doing things that are uncomfortable. So.
Second drop, wait for the second drop.
Hey, yeah. We are on the way to the Equipment Expo. I am on a 92-foot boom lift. Thinking about purchasing this. I got this thing fully extended. The boom lift I have now goes 50 feet up. This is 92. I think I'm gonna sell my 50 foot, buy 92. I wanted to come down here to check out the different types of equipment and suppliers that are throughout the country. I just found this supplier, it's Jenkins Iron and Steel. It looks like they have some pretty good deals. We got this mini backhoe and thumb for $2,100 delivered to my door. Definitely a great find. Also looking for Mike Andys. I can't find him yet. I know that he stopped by the Goat Gang booth, made a nice video.
My ultimate nemesis.
Jobber, I know we were talking about prior, so where are we at on that?
My plan tonight was to start incorporating everything into Jobber tonight, but after consulting with a few people, I think that's a bad idea. I didn't bring a computer, so doing everything off of my phone could create some problems. I don't want to have any problems. I'd like everything to go seamlessly. I don't want to have duplicate accounts. So next week I'm going to dedicate a day.
Moving all over.
Just at my house, in my office.
Cool. And then so this week, obviously you came here. Who's managing the accounts now, and how are they done so far? Using the past few days.
It's myself managing as far as putting out the schedule, and then I have my foreman. I send him to any of the difficult jobs that are just more complex, that have to do with irrigation.
All right, so we're gonna break this down. Why do you think you need the big trucks? I want to go over this because I saw your comment on YouTube.
Okay.
On one of my things. Yeah, we saw that.
Okay.
I want to go over that because I agree with you to some extent. Okay. I disagree with you on some other extent. Walk me through your logic though on the trucks.
So that truck, I had already ordered that truck. So I've already wanted a F450 truck. I figured it would be good for marketing purposes. Like, oh, this guy has his stuff together. He has like this, $100,000 truck. Like, just it puts your foot in the door as far as like credibility. In addition with everything else that they already may know about me. It has crash detecting. I know myself. I'm extremely busy. I'm on my phone and I would like that alert like, hey, you need to stop.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah.
So, and it actually did save my butt once, where I had to lock up the brakes because I was on my phone texting, If I was driving my, F350 truck that didn't have that, I could have rear-ended someone, hurt someone. That truck saved someone's life, so.
Oh man, I guess you could just not text and drive.
Yeah, but then I couldn't manage everything.
Okay, because like.
What do you think?
Well, it's a lot of debt. And I understand our plan is like to grow out of it. I get that 100%. I'm just concerned in the meantime, like the next 12 months. I think if someone was doing say 1.5 million, I'd be okay, 300,000 in debt. I get that, right? Like even I was talking with Tigran yesterday, he said about $400,000 debt. That makes sense to me because he does 3-4 million plus. I'm concerned when there's that much debt and such little cash. And then my question is, from a marketing standpoint, could the $1,700 per month on that loan be spent on marketing and actually get more customers than the image that is currently using on the truck?
Yeah, I mean, it could. I weighed this back in my head too. I feel like I purposely put myself under that stress or that struggle just to be uncomfortable and force myself to get ahead.
The only way in my mind is just growth, like massive growth. You had said about 20 to 30% of your revenue now is from the project side, 70 to 80% of it is from the maintenance side. What was that like last year? Was it mostly maintenance and now you're really going after the projects? Is that kind of the goal?
I've always liked the bigger jobs. I've just had to rent the equipment to get those bigger jobs done, and then now I own the equipment versus renting it. But I've always kind of put myself so I don't have a lot of money in the bank.
Right.
That's how I've always been, and just like pushed it, right back towards the business to grow, and it's worked. But I know it's risky.
As long as you know it's risky, because it's extremely risky. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't really have anything to say. It's scary for me, honestly. I don't do as well underneath that financial pressure as you do. It seems like you really put yourself there almost in order to force yourself to just keep kicking butt.
If you want to be here, you got to get something to be there.
Yeah, I would not be happy with that. There needs to be a spending freeze.
The business right now is not doing good. I know I have a lot of like nice shit, but I really don't have a lot of money in my bank account.
I don't think that Aaron is understanding the severity of all this debt. I am proud of him for overcoming drug abuse in the past, but I'm afraid that his addictive personality is coming to light in the form of overspending on excessive equipment he doesn't use all the time. Let's check back in and see if I can get through to him.
Tell me a little bit, Steven had said at one point you were really into the drug scene and all that sort of thing. What helped you get out of that?
Really what motivated me was having my daughter. I got into drugs because of depression, self-medicating. I sought help and it wasn't working. They could only see me like once a month for 1 hour, and that just wasn't gonna cut it, because I had some deep issues.
So you had your daughter and that was kind of like the wake-up call you needed?
Yeah, I didn't want to have this innocent child have a father that's like a deadbeat, So yeah, I just, suffered through it and got off of it.
Yeah, it's almost, the reason I asked is because there's a couple friends I have that I've seen, came out of that, and then they really got, instead of drugs, they started putting it on other things. And what I don't want to see you do is put identity in the trucks and the equipment.
So would you be feeling different though if I had like $60,000 in the bank right now?
100%.
So you think it's a bad idea if I take on more debt?
I would. Do you need to have a confessional right now, bro?
Yeah. Well, because I want to get another truck. I'm waiting for it to be built. Another.
No. You already have the order in?
Yeah, I put it in last year. But this truck's cheaper. Check it out. This truck is MSRP, so I don't have to overpay for this truck. So I could actually sell that truck for more once I get it.
Okay, but are you gonna sell it?
No.
That's the whole point. How much is it worth?
It's like a $90,000 truck. It's just identical truck to what I have now, when it's made, when Ford gets around to making it. But hopefully by then I'm in a better situation.
I know, but
I'll have 60 grand in the bank. How
I know,
about
but
that?
this is seriously like almost like the drug thing, because it's like I'm always gonna get better. I'm gonna get out of this. I can control this, and it's like this is just as bad as drugs. It's like a financial drug of like you can always take more debt to get the business keep going on forward.
Yeah.
But like ultimately you can build a $5 million business, but if there's so much debt, there'll be no profit, and it'll just be a bigger mistake. And so I would not be happy with that. There needs to be a spending freeze. There does.
For what, a year?
There's no, until you have X amount in the bank and until the business is doing X amount in revenue. I would feel more comfortable if you said, I will not have any more debt until $100,000 per month in monthly revenue. All right, and 50 grand in the bank.
All right. Yeah, that's good.
We need those
too.
things. We need 50 grand in the bank, and we need 100,000 plus in monthly revenue. I think you can do 100,000 plus in monthly revenue probably next spring.
Yeah.
That's not going to be the hard one. The hard part is, can you put the 50 grand in the bank to feel a little more comfortable, so that when things come up, they just do.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't expecting your daughter to have this. We weren't expecting the dental thing. Like, that stuff just pops up.
Yeah.
But that can put you out of business when you're running the margins and the cash so low.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week we're switching to Jobber, or like we're going to be working on that.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to do my best. Yeah.
Okay. And then
take a couple of days off.
let's look at 2023, because this is our last week. We got to look at 2023 and put together the plan of revenue per month, profit per month, and cash in the bank. That's the only three numbers I want for like every month. Number, like top line revenue, what you're gonna hit from January to December, the profit from each of those months, and then how much is in the bank account. Like literally you could burn tomorrow and it would be okay. And if you get to 50 grand in the bank on that bottom part, we can get a truck. I approve. I approve.
Cool.
All right?
Cool, man.
Sound good.
All right, thanks, brother.
I cannot believe that he's literally buying another truck or thinking about it or has plans to do it. It's insanity. So I think we got to a good place though in terms of he has to grow the business. Either that or he's got to cut out the project side, which is creating so much of this debt. And he's got to disconnect himself from growing the business and debt being correlation. It is not correlative. He needs to grow the business and fill capacity for this chipper that he's paid $78,000 for, this truck that he's paid $150,000 for. You got to fill the capacity before you keep growing. You don't need more debt. Debt and growth do not need to correlate.
Tell us why debt is bad for business.
I think it forces people to make short-term decisions if they made debt obligations that they can't actually be able to run a profitable business for and pay for the debt. I'm not against debt. Almost every business that's massive has a lot of debt. But when it becomes a point where it cannot sustain the business, I have a problem with that. $300,000 of debt, $2,000 in the bank.
He does make a valid point. Aaron went against what you said, and he bought another F450.
Which I disagree with dramatically, and we are trying to work with him on these things.
I also asked him today, I'm like, Aaron, you already have a 450. Why did you get another one? I don't know. I couldn't answer the question.
This is the problem that I have with projects.
Yeah.
20 to 30% of his revenue is project-based. The other 70 to 80% is mowing and recurring maintenance. And yet, he has $300,000 worth of debt, all of which is big trucks, a tree chipper, and track loader, I think.
So most of his money's made on mowing lawns?
70 to 80%.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Now,
I thought he was a tree guy.
He does believe the upside is in the trees.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's got this massive chipper.
Yeah.
But I don't believe you need a $75,000 chipper to get started in tree chipping.
Mike is a bare bones kind of guy.
I believe that if you have $2,000 in your bank and $300,000 of debt, it's a bad business decision.
That's what we say, a bad offer.
But for someone like Aaron, like his goal is to grow, right? And what we told him is like, hey, look, if you're gonna have that much debt and have all this big equipment, you've got to use it.
Yeah.
You've got to scale up the project side. It's actually worth having a massive truck, right? So that's his goal. He wants to scale up massively.
Yeah.
I got some bad news. It looks like my schedule on my reminders app, the 230 jobs that I have scheduled, somehow connected to the airplane's time that's in Hawaii or something. I don't know, but the entire schedule is like a day off. than what it should be. I got jobs that are scheduled for tomorrow. It says they're supposed to be done today, but I know that they're really tomorrow's jobs. I got estimates on Sunday evening. It says they're supposed to be due tomorrow. So I got to call back customers. I got to input them in the schedule, but I'm concerned that it's not going to get fixed. I'm hoping it will just update and get fixed here in the next like hour or two. I've already rebooted my phone. That hasn't helped out, but that's a good reason why I need to switch to Jobber. This week, or this last week, I asked two guys specifically, they're bilingual, to make videos. One guy made videos for 2 of the days. He's supposed to do it every day. They worked every day. The other guy, he didn't make any videos. He kind of blew it. If this kid would have made the videos, he would have made more money. I would have given this guy a raise because I knew that he could listen. That's not gonna fly, you know? I don't know, have a talk with this guy, or I think I'm more leaning towards just finding his replacement. People need to be able to listen, follow direction. I mean, I didn't ask him to jump off a bridge. I asked him to make a video. Ulises, did you make a video? Did you make a video? Did you make a video? It's not funny. I told you several times. Crew A got back earlier today. The only problem I'm having is I'm not making any money with Crew B. 0 negative money, and that's just not gonna fly. I'm gonna let them know that I'm gonna have to start getting rid of them. I'm in this business to make money. I know the jobs that they're doing. Even if I increase by 20%, I would still be negative. They're little dinker jobs, you know. They're like, honestly, you know, 2 guys could have done these jobs and should have been done by now, but there's 4 of them and they're not done. So there's definitely inefficiencies. You know, I carry the most powerful backpack blowers. They'll do the job, you know, just blow it, get it done, you move on to the next one. The blower's not going to do a half-assed job. You don't need to turn over the rock with the blower. I'm in the position I'm in, and then I'm losing money. So hopefully this meeting goes well. Hopefully they pick up their pace and still do quality work. Hopefully they get it. If not, I'm going to have to get rid of some of them. So the next couple hours, I got a softball game I'm going to tonight. We're getting ready to have a talk. Necesito habla. So I write things on the schedule, right? And they have to be followed. And if you have a question and you don't understand the schedule, then call me. You guys did very little jobs today. I knew what was on the schedule as far as jobs that you guys had. And I feel like you guys would have been able to complete the jobs today. And we need to pick up the pace. As far as today goes, I lost around $300. So even though I got paid from all the customers, like I have to take out like $300 out of my wallet to pay you guys. It's little inefficiencies to speed up the day, you know? If the yard looks pretty good as blowing, just blow it real quick so it looks like we cleaned up, but every leaf doesn't have to be cleaned up. That way I can actually make money. That's the purpose of this. The business right now is not doing good. I know I have a lot of like nice shit, but I really don't have a lot of money in my bank account. I wanted to mention, I did some numbers last night. Just off the top of my head, what I did last night off of a few accounts, I currently have $37,000 that's owed to me. That really changes the scenario once I get those funds. You know, I mean, Mike said he would feel a whole lot different, you know, if I had $60,000 in the account. I asked him that question yesterday. That's, you know, I don't know if it's just me, but I'm not super stressed out about it. It is stressful, you know, but I mean, what can you do? You just got to roll with it, you know? If I felt like I couldn't succeed, I would make changes, you know? I would definitely make changes. I'd get rid of the truck. If I felt like I couldn't succeed, I wouldn't have bought this truck. Same thing with the chipper, you know? I mean, you got to push yourself if you want to get better. If you want to be here, you got to get something to be there. You know, you got to do something to get there, you know, and I'm using the skills that I know, determination, hard work, the little intelligence that I have, you know, I'm trying to piece it together, learn from you guys, learn from Mike, learn from Tigran, learn from all the other guys in the networking group. I know a couple guys, you know, in Goat Gang, they hit me up. I got to call them back. You know, I'm sure they're concerned for my well-being, you know, I'm going to give them a call back and see what's going on. But yeah, I don't think it's a bluff, man. You know, I think I can make it happen.
You know, I really do. See this $100 right here? I'm gonna look on the camera system and see who snagged the $100 bill, testing people's integrity.
Like the high that you have of getting new equipment needs to be replaced by the high of having just stacking cash.
You know, I know some of you guys may disagree with me.
I literally don't want you to buy it.
I'm going to fill out the finance information, get 0% interest.
Hey everyone, I'm looking forward to season 2 of Business Bootcamp, but we're actually casting for season 3. So if you would like to be on the bootcamp and actually go through the month with me and having weekly coaching calls with myself to grow your business or potentially save your business, check the link out in the description. Go to mikeandys.com/bootcamp, submit a video and fill out the information. And we'd love to have you on the show for season 3, which is going to be happening in January and February of 2023. And you don't have to have a lawn care or landscaping business. If you have any small business that you would like my help in, I would love to be able to have you on the show. You don't have to have it be a certain size. Just go submit your form. If you have a small business, I'd love to see your application.
As long as you know it's risky, because it's extremely risky.
This is the last week I have to get through to Aaron. I'm honestly a little freaked out.
The business right now is not doing good. I know I have a lot of like nice shit, but I really don't have a lot of money in my bank account.
We started with 2 main goals: implement a CRM software so he can manage his jobs better and give him more time to focus on selling and growing his business.
The downfall in doing it this way is it kind of works off the honor system and it works off of my brain.
And secondly, we need to keep this massive amount of debt from crippling the business.
There needs to be a spending freeze. There does.
His addiction to debt and buying massive equipment for projects he doesn't use on a regular basis scares me.
Instead of drugs, they started putting it on like other things. And what I don't want to see you do is put identity in the trucks and the equipment.
Last week, he ordered a brand new F450 and he's looking at purchasing even more equipment.
No!
This is a couple guys on the crew. Jorge, hola, Ulises, always smiling. So what we are doing is creating a new riverbed. All the rocks are falling down, so we're going to take out all the old rocks, put larger rocks on the sides to help the smaller rocks from falling down. We are going to treat the trees with a Fertilome root drench insecticide. It looks like the ash is infected. It's probably the emerald ash borer. You see all the little divots throughout the tree. Let's walk to the back. We're gonna do some planting. This is a reoccurring job that we do. We're planting some plants. Looks like they haven't been watered. I'll turn on the drip system to water those. We are reseeding this lawn. We only come here once a month, so that's why it looks the way it does. These are hibiscus flowers, red ones. They're hardy. I recommend the red ones if you want them to last. But yeah, we're gonna reseed this with winter rye. We planted a Texas mountain laurel. It looks like we got to check out the planting. Really, on these plants right here, we should not have any dirt up on the stem of it. There's a root flare, and that's where the dirt needs to be. So that's something I need to go over with the guys. And in the back, it's all going to have rock as well. So I finally got the courage to make a decision, something that's been on my mind for quite a while now. One of my employees, he makes $4 more an hour than the other guys that do the exact same job. When I hired this guy, I was desperate. I picked him up off the corner. I offered him $20 an hour versus $16 an hour because I needed him that day. So I talked to my foreman about it. He's bilingual. He's going to give this guy a call and explain to him that if he wants to continue working with me due to my business not doing well and the skill set that he brings to the table, that at this time I cannot afford to continue paying him $4 more per hour. That's $1,200 I'm paying this guy extra, and this guy doesn't have a vehicle. He needs to get picked up. He needs to get dropped off at home. He doesn't know a lick of English at all. 100% Spanish. He's older. He's a little slower. I just can't continue to keep losing money like that. You know, if I want to tighten up this ship, for instance, I'm trying to cut back going to Starbucks every day, or not order as much crap, you know, maybe just a plain basic iced coffee instead of like the gourmet chocolate mocha latte. I'll just order like a regular hot coffee or iced coffee. So little things like that where I can save money instead of being so bougie. I'm trying to actually make some impactful changes
changes in my business within this 30 days. I promised myself that I would do that, and that's what I'm gonna do. This morning is one of the very few times that I accidentally sleep in. So that's what happened this morning. Unfortunately for me, I went to bed feeling very bad, and then this morning woke up runny nose, still feel like crap. My plan today was to input all the information into Jobber. I had a meeting with the Jobber lady yesterday. That went well. Had a guy call out the night before on Sunday. He's one of my drivers, and with such late notice, I already had this week kind of scheduled. I don't feel comfortable letting one of these other guys drive the truck. I'm putting it at risk. They're not on insurance. The one guy that I do somewhat, if I had to have someone drive, he actually doesn't have a driver's license, so he's taking a risk. I'm going with the guys today. We're gonna go knock out this tree job. We're gonna grind out a stump, and then we're gonna call it an early day. Hope I feel better. You know, I gotta really be careful with my stepdaughter. She has a weakened immune system right now, so I'm kind of isolating myself in the house. Gotta wear a mask. You know, I don't want her getting sick, so that'll be horrible. So
Tell me a little bit about working with Jobber. I know it's a big change, obviously, so maybe it's not fully integrated, but are you moving some of the things into Jobber right now?
Yeah, I am. I've integrated QuickBooks. I've added some of my accounts, not all of them yet. I actually ran into some issues this week. We had some issues, you know, with that, the guy I suspected that was lying to me that called out. Turns out he didn't go to California, but I thought that was very inconsiderate of him to just bail last minute. I'm just sick of people's bullshit, you know? Part of me wants to tell that guy, no, dude, you're not working for me no more. I'm sorry. I found another driver. He zoomed in. He said something about a family member was doing drugs and died. He stopped by my house last night to collect his pay from last week. But and I asked him, I was like, I thought you were going to California. Oh, no, we're leaving tomorrow, is what he said. But I really don't think he's going to California. And then I ended up getting COVID tested.
No way.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people from the expo actually got COVID. You know how yesterday I mentioned that I was not feeling well the night before. Towards the end of the night yesterday, I started really feeling like crap. I ended up taking a COVID test, and sure enough, it was positive.
Wow. So was it kind of, were you kind of just down for a day or two?
No, I still have it, but I can't afford to get all my crew sick. So being down one driver, we can only fit 7 guys in one truck. So a few of the guys had to stay home, you know, since I'm the kind of the backup driver.
Cool. I know that might have thrown a monkey wrench. I know we were going to go over some of the numbers in terms of revenues and things like that for next year. Were you able to put those together, or I know it's been obviously a hectic week.
And it has been kind of a crazy week. So what were the numbers that you wanted to go over for next year?
It's really, honestly, it's just a matter, even if we don't go over it together, just so you have them, and that is what the revenue projections are going to be for each month in 2023. That's the first thing. Second thing is what the profit on each of those months are going to be. And then the third thing is, based upon those, how much cash is going to be in the bank throughout. Because what I really want you to think about going forward is obviously the decision, hey, we're going to grow this thing. We're going to utilize this equipment that we've purchased to basically outgrow the debt, right? And I think the big thing that I'd be trying to push you towards is keeping track of cash on hand and then using that as a ratio against your debt. And then that would be kind of the confines to stay disciplined with the debt, because debt is just like a treadmill. You can just keep going and going and going. And especially if it's backed up with an asset like a truck, right? What I would recommend is to kind of discipline yourself and just have a number that's like, hey, I'm not going to go over this certain debt to cash ratio. So like I would recommend like a 5-to-1 debt to cash in the bank ratio at a max, right? Like that's a pretty high number, but that would assume, let's say we have $300,000 in debt. We need $60,000 or more in cash in the bank in order for us to get any more debt. I'm very confident in your ability to grow. You have all the assets you need. You have the ability to sell. You have the personality to do it. I think you're going to do fantastic in the growth side. My bigger concern is the acute cash crunch and just making sure that never happens again. to discipline yourself, I'd be like, hey, look, if you want to buy more trucks, if you want to buy more equipment, great, but let's keep it in check using this math. And that is, okay, as soon as I get above $60,000 in the bank, cash in the bank, then I have permission to go give myself a little more debt because we're at that $300,000 level now. I need that 60,000 in order for that 5-to-1 ratio to work out. And then it's just a matter of like, well, if I can pay down some debt, and then I can make the equation work more with less cash in the bank, right? But it'd be a way to discipline yourself before you go out and get more debt. Because the last thing I want you to do is go get a $400,000 or $500,000 and we're still at that, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 in the bank, and just this constant, stress of having to, service that debt.
Over the past 30 days, Aaron has gone from putting his entire business in a reminders app on his iPhone to integrating with a CRM. Very important as he begins to scale. He's starting to think about being able to hand off certain tasks in the business so he can focus on sales, which he needs to do in order to be able to sustain this debt level.
I hear you. Yeah, I definitely need to have the discipline on that. I think you're right. I definitely need to have a stockpile saved up. So I'm gonna end up getting a job where we're gonna be planting 44 trees, 24-inch box trees. So I was contemplating whether or not I should buy this mini excavator.
I am here at Vermeer with my nice expensive truck and trailer, checking out this new equipment, thinking about buying this.
I literally don't want you to buy it.
I'm going to fill out the finance information, get 0% interest.
We can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
The debt will eventually catch up.
See this $100 right here? See how it says copy? Other than that, looks pretty real. Feels a little fake, but could pass as a real $100 bill. I set one of these out underneath my guy's pay last night. No one said anything. They didn't say, hey, Aaron, did you lose $100? Hey, this $100 dropped out of someone's pay. So I'm gonna look on the camera system, see who was the first one at the house this morning, who opened up the garage. I got a camera inside of the garage, and see who snagged the $100 bill. Hopefully one of these guys tells me, hey, I lost $100 and one of the $100 fell out of the envelope. Or, they should say, Aaron, why'd you set out a fake $100 bill? I'm thinking someone might be trying to snag an extra $100. Turns out it's not real. Testing people's integrity. Stay tuned. This is the pine tree that I was talking about. My guy Juan, he says that he can climb that like a monkey, no problem, and he does not need a rope. I would prefer him to have a rope and limb walk all of this. So I'm gonna teach him how to use that. He's never used a rope before. He's just a natural talent free climber. I would prefer that he uses a rope. I told him that we want to keep him and we need him. He forgot his hard hat at the house. I offered him to use mine. Mine's a little bit too big for his head, so. There is a problem. Basically, I forgot to tell Juan that he's only trimming this tree, and he thought that we were cutting this entire tree down, and he just cut a big branch. Fortunately, we can still make the tree look good, but that's my bad. This guy over here, I told him to put gasoline, and he didn't listen. Hey, Jorge, tú necesito gasoline. Arriba, and then start it. I don't know how to say start it. Gasoline, start. He's gonna try to muscle it up. All right, I gotta go, guys. I want to touch on something I said earlier this week. Yeah, I'm gonna end up getting a job where we're gonna be planting 44 trees, 24-inch box trees. So I was contemplating whether or not I should buy this mini excavator. So I called Bobcat and I was asking him how much does it cost for a mini excavator. Since I got this job coming up, why do I want to rent one for a week and then just basically blow that money?
Ultimately, the big thing that you don't want to do is buy equipment that's only being utilized even 100 or 100 hours a year, right? Like if you're not using that piece of equipment every single day, I literally don't want you to buy it, especially at this stage where the debt is at.
I have the confidence that I'm going to get jobs. I believe in my ability, regardless of whether money's tight or not. It's not always going to be tight.
For example, you could go get more jobs with an excavator, yes, or we could just spend money behind marketing and take the current, tree. We have a boom, we have a massive tree chipper, lumber. We have all the equipment to do tree work. Why not go spend $2,000 on marketing that generates then $30,000 worth of tree work and then takes the current assets that we have and makes them more profitable and efficient? Like return on equity is a very big number I would be looking at if I was you. And that is, how often am I using my assets? The equity that I've put into the business, how profitable is it for me? And these assets have to be utilized more. And if they're only being utilized 1 day a week or even 2 days a week, I wouldn't even personally, I wouldn't even do that service anymore. I only want to take a current asset and I just beat the thing into the ground by using it, because that's when it's its most profitable. I'd be really encouraging, let's either cut services out or just take the services that we have and just sell more of those and not get allured by okay, if I have one planting job with boxwoods, I've got to go buy a $50,000-$60,000 piece of equipment.
So I'd rather take that investment, have faith in myself, and buy that mini excavator. I know some of you guys may disagree with me, don't think that's the smartest move. Rent it, blow the money, have money sitting in your bank account.
We can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
The debt will eventually catch up. If you have to rent, and say, hey, it's like $400 or $500 a day, just bid those jobs that are one-off as if you need to rent that piece of equipment. So that if you do get the job, it's still profitable. Even if you break even based upon a rental versus buying, and buying having a payment on it, even if you do that, you got to remember the ratios and the numbers of your business matter. And having a high debt to income ratio makes the business worthless. The goal is to be profitable, but also have the numbers of the business, the balance sheet, in check.
Yeah, I'm going to hold off on it until I get some money in the bank. I'm going to fill out the finance information, get 0% interest, buy this little mini excavator. So I think $29,000. I think it's a smart move. Let me know in the comments if you disagree. It's actually kind of sad.
For every dollar in the bank, I'm allowed to have $5 of debt.
Nice. Look, the $100 came up. Here at a park with the family, but I wanted to give you guys an update as far as the $100 bill. So I essentially had to pry and ask the guys several different times if they found the $100 bill this morning, and then eventually, after saying no several times, someone did find a fake $100 bill that was put in the truck. I didn't put the $100 bill on the truck. That just so happens to be the B crew. So I narrowed it down to 3 different guys, because 3 guys were working today and they were in that truck. After they said no, then they fessed up. So at least they fessed up, but I was concerned that I was going to have some guys that weren't honest. So yeah, kind of a test. At first it was a joke, but then I was like, you know what, I should test these guys. So yeah, just an update on that. I guess I do have honest employees, even though you got to kind of squeeze them a little bit to get the info out. They did end up fessing up to the fake $100 bill. So. Hey, what's up, Mike? I got a feeling I know what your answer's gonna be, but I was wondering, should I purchase this one right here for a new contract? $14,495 plus tax. And then I have something reliable. This is the best model that they carry. Or should I purchase this one right here? Same 54-inch cutting, right-on lawnmower. I'm not sure of the difference. I've never bought a zero-turn lawnmower before. Let me know, please. Thank you.
No, I think my biggest thing for you is hey, you're going to crush it. You're going to sell really well. I love you, by the way. Your personality is magnetic. You're going to sell fantastically. I think you're going to have a good team around you too, honestly, because you're so genuine. And the thing is, the debt thing is going to be your art. The thing you're going to have to keep it's going to be the thing you have to just keep pushing away from you. It really is. And I think if you just have the boundaries of, hey, I have a debt to income ratio of 5 to 1. I need, for every dollar in the bank, I'm allowed to have $5 of debt. That's still too much for what I would recommend. I have less than a 1-to-1, and that's usually what I use in my business. The reason I do that is because I want to be able to know, in worst case scenario, I can take all my cash, pay off all my debt, and I'm clear. Because as soon as that ratio is above 1, it ultimately means that you are handicapped and locked and tied to your business. And that's something that's very scary.
When should I implement that? Should I do it today?
I would be doing that right away. It's just a benchmark.
Small scale?
I think if I was you, I'd say, okay, in 2023, I'm going to be 5 to 1. 2024, I'm going to shoot for 4 to 1. In 2025, I'm going to shoot for 3 to 1. The closer that ratio gets, and eventually you get debt free in say 5 or 10 years, that's when the stress level just drops massively effectively in the business. Because right now you are chained to, I must produce X amount of revenue just to break even. And that number is well over $50,000 to $60,000 a month right now, just to pay off the debt service. So you're chained to this business of constantly selling, constantly getting more jobs. When that debt is paid off and now there's either no debt, or at least you have $1 in the bank for every dollar of debt, you have liberty. Like, it's freedom. That's what comes with business ownership if there's not debt.
I don't feel like extremely stressed, so it might just be my personality, but I don't feel extremely stressed over this,
Here's why I think this is, Aaron, is because you've dealt, like, when you were doing drugs and everything, it was so risky, like physically to you, like the place that you had to come out of, and like the withdrawals and all the rest of it. Yeah. You saw such an extreme of pain and suffering that this doesn't seem very hard to you. And that that is literally like a massive gift, because you'll be able to experience pain as an entrepreneur and get through it no problem. And you still have this positive mindset like all the time. And it's because you've seen such a low, this doesn't seem so bad, right? Yeah. What I want you to get into is a mentality of, now the business is good to the point where now you become free to actually do things outside the business, because right now you're working crazy hours and you have to, just for the business to sustain itself. Yeah, I definitely do feel like I do lack discipline in saving money, that I need to work on, just become mentally stronger at being able to have that discipline to set the money back. Like, the high that you have of getting new equipment needs to be replaced by the high of having just stacking cash, just stacking that bad boy up. You've gone from gutter and you've improved, but there's a whole nother world of what you can achieve when you get to the place where the business isn't controlling you financially. Yeah, I'm excited for it, man. I am too, man. I really have enjoyed it, man. You like I said, I genuinely love you, man. Like, you have a good personality. Thank you, bro. Knowing your story and what you've been through is fantastic. I really look forward to seeing what you guys do. I love you too, man. Thanks for your help.
Aaron is just a good guy. I know people in the comments have destroyed him over the course of Business Bootcamp, but the things that he has gone through to get to where he's at today, that same determination and motivation is going to be the thing that gets him out of the business trouble he's gotten himself into with debt. I absolutely believe that Aaron will grow the business. I absolutely believe he'll be able to sustain the debt, and I believe he'll be able to change his ways of being addicted to that debt in his business and getting intrinsic pride in having cash in the bank, not shiny pieces of equipment. And I think most importantly, he's changed his mindset about debt, getting more equipment and expansion by adding more services and focusing on the actual numbers of the business and the profitability.
It's actually kind of sad. That's how I felt this morning. It's like a breakup. I think overall the month went great. Definitely, I feel grateful for the opportunity. I feel also grateful that I was able to get my message out. I've never, really got that in depth, on a mass level to kind of tell my story. I've told my story with other people one-on-one basis, but I knew eventually I think I could help out some people. So I hope that I was able to, Mike Andes, he said, I love you, so I also believe in that, loving everyone, caring about everyone, doing the right thing, doing good for all. There's no harm in that. You got to be a man. Don't take it the wrong way. Some people are, I guess, leery of that word, whatever, shy, their own masculinity. But, this world does need more, guys that are willing to care about one another and help one another out. So overall, I think, what Mike's doing here, the media team doing this boot camp and helping people out, I think it's awesome. I'm happy that I was able to transition to jobber that I'm going to. I think that I would have waited longer had I not done the boot camp. I'll stay in touch. I actually plan on going to Landscape Summit, so I'll see you guys there. I am here at Vermeer with my nice expensive truck and trailer, checking out this new equipment. Thinking about buying this. Check this out. It's a nice stump grinder. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to buy it. I'm here to pick up my skid steer. So, it is a nice stump grinder though, but I'm going to have to wait until I can afford it. See you guys later. Bye.